welcome. So, going to take a look at the Times Quick Cryptic crossword, and this is being published on Tuesday the 17th of June 2025, and our setter today is Jalna. So we've had 8 puzzles from Jalna so far this year, so it's more than one a month but less than 2 a month, and they just seem to be either in the 11-12 minute range or in the 22 to 24 minute range. So yeah, I mean, Jalna was always one of the tougher setters when I first started doing cryptics. I kind of got into their way of thinking, and I don't fear them, put it that way, but I know it can be a little bit of a struggle occasionally. Anyway, I think I've talked enough. I'm going to reset the timer and crack on. Adversary not against being messed around. Not against con pro. One taken in by unacceptable idea, I think is notion, isn't it? Not ion. Yep. Reasonable indication of approval to be announced. Reasonable indication nod, yes. About to be announced soon. Fair lot by the sound of it. Fair just mere lot. All. Small matter involving money from overseas arbitrarily. A small matter involving money from overseas arbitrarily. Diplomacy leads to improved communication strategy. You'd think that's tact is diplomacy. Leads to improved tactic, yeah. Tact, and then IC from the leads. Where you might put your holiday item to be safe in the safe. In items on hold, in hold. Not sure about that. Piteous account of terrible politician meeting, terrible boss meeting politician. So you'd think, I would have thought it was a sub-story. Sub-story, very good. Ooh, sub-story, okay. Old, mostly white gemstone, opal. The go-to gemstone. Plant in retrospect had trouble making a return. Gosh, plant in retrospect. Don't think it's hidden word backwards. Item of clothing that provides protection for work. What about say hard hat, apron, item of clothing that provides protection for work? Don't know. Doing extra obfuscated personal reason to get involved. Doing extra is 10 letters. Obfuscate could be an anagram to get personal reason to get involved would be, I don't know. Doing extra, right? Not a single person of 12 came in the end. Not one? No. Not a single person of 12 is a dozen. It's not alone. I think 1 of 12. So the disciples, apostles, maybe. Soldier perhaps eating fruit for nourishment. If there's any fruit in there. Have one's way nastily at first, Zen for nastily. Ways on the street or road. Let's just own, have now. Simple acrostic. Nice a tiny redeveloped area downtown. That is just an anagram of something. Tiny area downtown is, will come to me maybe. I'll write that down a minute. Inner city. Inner city, yeah, nice and tiny, I think. Right, important individual engaged in some activity up north. Important individual engaged in some activity up north. Again, don't think it's a hidden word backwards. that's, I think there's an N there, maybe, for north going upwards, so active D. It's a deed, act. Oh, renowned. You, American doctor, beset by endless bother. Renowned. American doctor would be US MB, USMO, USDO, ad, probably more adra. Endless bother. Renowned. Ad drift. Ad. What was that? Amb. Renowned. You'd think that would end in ED. Come back to that as well. A ridiculous charge on port. A. Ridiculous. Ridiculous is charges 6 on A. Could be A. Could be an anagram. Port is. Gosh. If that's the name of a port from an anagram. An exam in the morning. That's unethical, which is AM oral. Nice little clue there. Police officer seizes hard, so it's PHR, I think. Bladed weapon, fur. Bladed. Weapon, PHO. Leave that like that. Some colossal sausages salsa for a tomato-based dip. That one was a hidden word. And what have we got? Type of cooker, Arga, fashionable once again. Again, Arga in, nice. Extremely short, pitchfork perhaps, maybe. Extremely short, pitchfork, maybe. ST for short, extremes, maybe. P, pitchfork though, maybe. Okay, well, it's gone E well, but it hasn't gone terrible, I'd say. Adversary, not against being messed around. Anagram, not against. Against is 6 letters, 7 letters, not against, yeah. So it's a shun. Anniversary is a what? Got 2 O's? No, I've got 2 O's there. Oh, what's gone there? Is that even a shun word? Okay, not against. Not against. Antagonist. Okay, got something going wrong there. Antagonist. Okay, that's totally wrong. Let's see. Soldier, perhaps eating for nourishment is eating fruit. This must be no one. Not a single person. That 12 came in the end yet. Okay, noon with an E. Fair. Lot. Oh, that'd be mere, but I think it's mere. Fair. Just. No, it's not. Fair is blonde. Oh, right, let's go back to the crosses. Now I've got some cross letters. Reasonable indication, odd, about to be approved. Nod. Reasonable is nod. No doubt. About to be received. Nod on, nod off. That was nod. Important individual. Engaged in some activity up north. About to be renounced. Announced, to be announced suggests it's a sound like nod. That one I don't know. Small matter involving money from overseas arbitrarily. Is that at? Well, you might put your holiday items to be safe in case. to be safe, just in case, I think that is. Which makes that more reasonable as to why that isn't. Police officer could be a copper. Chopper. Copper and okay, copper and chopper, like it. Item of clothing that provides protection from work. Item of clothing, cap, top hat. Why is that a top hat? Item of clothing. That, oh yeah, top with hat op in it. Yeah, very good. That, literally that. Does. What's the extremely short pitchfork? Maybe. Extremely short is 2, maybe. I think that's 2. Tall, I think, but I'm not sure about that. Doing extra obfuscated personal reason to get involved. All too wrong. All. Plant in retrospect had trouble making a return. Soldier, perhaps. Eating fruit. What are my list of fruits? Lime. A lime ailment. A lime aliment. Soldier is an ant with lime in it, yeah. I think this is mere, but I can't think. Lot. Mere. Fair. Oh well, I'll come back and think about that one. Lot. Fair. Small matter involving money from overseas. Euro. Real. In reality. Arbitrarily is in. At. What's going on with this doctory thing? Renowned American doctor. Beset by endless bother. That's a mess, probably. Bother, mess. Unless it's U for US rather. By endless, beset by. I can't think of a word which is apart from nod off, but I can't see what that would be. Let's look at this. See if this is an anagram of a charge on, which I don't think it is probably, but I haven't got anything else to think about there. So charge on, but it does have a couple of letters from a charge on. So. Port could be left, I suppose. Charge on left. A ridiculous. I don't know what the definition could be there otherwise. Unless A is being used in some kind of weird way. Charge on port, Rio. Doing extra. Obfuscated is covered. Reason to get involved is a. Plant in retrospect had trouble making a return. Well, that's ale, I suppose. A return is a. What's a trial? A return. What is it in ill? Vanilla? Vanilla? No. What's it? Dahlia. It's just a dahlia, isn't it? Yeah, well, that was simple. And again, another letter towards that potential anagram. This one, fair is fate, lot, that kind of lot, fate and lot, okay. Because fate is F-A-T-E, as a lot, yep. Small matter is it's just small, so that can't be an anagram. That's a so though, can it? But small for because I really don't think that this is going to be an anagram, but I don't know for certain. I can't. This important individual is engaged in some activity up north. Yeah, fairly sure there's not a hidden word backwards on that one. Reasonable indication of approval. Well, reasonable would be something. Indication of approval would be a nod. About to be announced. Nod. Renowned is famous, isn't it? Why is that famous? American, US, FAMO, MO. I don't know what the FA is. Nod. Nod say? Give the nod. That'd be a reason really, but arbitrarily. Oh, it's a fuss, isn't it? Yeah, a fuss around an AMO nod. Nod say, is that? I think nod say is a phrase, but I don't know. Important individual, therefore, is a some activity up north. Important. I feel maybe it's a nod. Well, okay, let's assume that's A, and then ridiculous charge would be on port. Small matter is a money from overseas is it's not the euro, is it? Euro? Yeah, don't think that's going to make a word. Arbitrarily is at I just can't think what the phrase for arbitrarily. Maybe it's an anagram of a charge on then. A and then charge on. What would that be though? Arch. Egona or something. GNE. Archinage, anchorage. There you are. Anchorage. Okay, that port. I mean, that's wasn't too obvious, was it? Doing extra is to get involved. Personal reason to get involved. Is that anagram of doing extra? I had a feeling it was, but I'm not sure. So I'll get rid of anchorage, doing extra, blimey. Just cross out some letters. And if it is an anagram, that's pretty easy. Well, not easy, but it gets rid of a... I've got quite a lot of letters got rid of, so... And they are there. And it's got D, G, I, H, XT, H2... Don't know where the X would go, though. Grind. Axe to grind, okay. Axe to grind, okay. Wow, okay, that was... So I think it has to be 2, extremely short. Pitchfork, maybe. I don't know what else can go in there, really. I might as well go through the alphabet because I've been 20 minutes already, so it could be double 2, tro. 2's a word. I think 2's the most likely word. Though, not sure about that. Tau, dow. So it seems like there's only 3 possibilities: 2, or tau, or dow, whatever the word is. Extremely short. Pitchfork, I think that's a tool, really. So 2 for maybe, I'm not sure about that. At ration. I've still got 3, I've got that one there as well. Important individual is a VIP. At random, they are random atom. Okay, yeah, atom random. There's my north. Some activity north. Is it nod? Maybe it's not nod. Totem. Engaged is to do. Some activity up. So work. It'd be easier if I could just think of a word to put in here, really, wouldn't it? If that was nod, I don't know if it is now. Nod say. Give something reasonable. Nod say. Could be a T or an A or a vowel. Yeah, vowel or an R, I think. Or could be an H, I suppose. Important individual is a... Well, it's just important. Individual would be tenon. Where's the T coming from, though? If that was tenon, 1. Non. Reasonable non. Oh, maybe it's nod. About to be announced. To put the no, not bad. Reasonable, not bad. Why is that about to be announced? TBA. Okay, not bad, which makes that a titan for some reason. At it, yeah, titan. Okay, hopefully. 24, 24. Gosh, that was tough. Wow, that was not much fun. Glad to get through that though. You know, it's good. Yeah, there's a great sense of positivity when you actually can do a puzzle that you've struggled with. So let's go through those clues. Um, gosh, well, an antagonist is an adversary. Not against is an anagram for antagonist, and being messed around is your anagram indicator. One is an I, taken in by unacceptable, so something that is not on gives you a notion, which is an idea. Reasonable, something that's reasonable is not bad. Indication of approval is a nod. About, so going around to be announced, which is TBA, just a standard TLA, three-letter abbreviation. Affair is a fate, and lot in this sense is talking about fate, F-A-T-E, your lot. You know, what's your coming fate? By the sounds of it, is your sound-like indicator. A small matter, a small bit of matter, is an atom involving money. Is a rand, money from overseas, so the rand, South African rand, arbitrarily is at random. Diplomacy is tact, leads to improved communication, so the leads are the I and the C to improve communications, and a strategy is a tactic. Where you might put your holiday items is in the suitcase, and to be safe is, just to be safe, just in case. Like this one, pity's account is a sob story. Terrible boss is an anagram of boss, is sobs. So terrible is your anagram indicator. The boss anagram to make sobs, and a politician is a Tory. Overold, mostly white. Whitish is pale. Without the E, it becomes an opal, which is a gemstone. Plant, the dahlia is a plant, yeah. And in retrospect, had, so put had backwards to start off, and then trouble making a return, ale backwards. Item of clothing is a top hat. I mean, gosh, that's a tough definition, isn't it? That, but then you can't say it's an item unless you put an item that goes on your head or something. You can't call it a hat, can you? Because a top hat is the answer. That is providing protection for work. So put work is an op with that around it, providing protection. Doing extra is an anagram of axe to grind. Obfuscated is an anagram indicator, and a personal reason to get involved is you've got an axe to grind. Not a single person, so no one. 12 of 12 is noon, and then came in the end is put an E from came, the end letter of came. Soldier is an ant, soldier perhaps, so might be an ant. Eating fruit, so lime into ant gives you nourishment, which is aliment. Not really a word I would know other than the alimentary canal is something to do with your digestion system. Excuse me. Have is to own, and we've got an acrostic of one's way nastily. At first is your anagram indicator. Your acrostic indicator. Nicer city is an anagram of inner city. Nicer tiny, is an anagram of inner city. Redeveloped is your more standard anagram indicator, and inner city is an area downtown. An important individual is a titan. Engaged in some activity up north. So some activity upwards, which is at it, and then N for north on the end. Renowned is famous. American doctor is an A for American, doctor is an MO, medical officer I think that is. Beset by, so you've got around it, you've got endless bother, so a fuss without a second S. We've got A, and then we've got an anagram of charge on, which gives us Anchorage, which is a port in Alaska. An exam in the morning, so we've got an AM oral being an exam type, and something that's unethical is amoral. Police officer is a copper, so using H for hard. Gives you a chopper, which is a bladed weapon. Some is your classic hidden word indicator that across colossal sausages we have a tomato-based sauce of salsa. Type of cooker is an aga. Fashionable is in. Once more is again. And I take this to be extremely short pitchfork to be. I don't know what extremely is there for really, but a pitchfork is a tool. I think. So extremely short. I don't know. I don't know what's extremely short. I mean, it's just a short tool, I think. Maybe 2. I'm not very keen on that definition either. So maybe there's something about that clue I don't quite understand. But there you go. Anyway, 2424, all done. Thanks to Jalna for that one.